Good morning to all the students. Today we are going to have a short summary of the Spectator's account of himself written by Joseph Addison. This essay actually was written by Joseph Addison to give some information regarding to his personal life. He believes that there are so many readers who have desire in them to know about the author, his personal life, his family life, and that's why he want to fulfill this desire of readers so that they will have some information or knowledge about the life of the author. This essay, which opened with Joseph Addison saying that a reader has the curiosity to know something about the writer. That's why he has attempted to acquaint the reader with himself. He considers himself an onlooker or spectator. He has given a description of his habits. So here he gives the description of his habits which he has acquired in his life. So reader will come to know about these habits. He is not negligent, but his attentive attitude is there at all important places. Though his visits as a spectator or observer, he has acquired ample knowledge in various fields of life. He was a periodical writer, he was an essayist, so he knew very well all kinds of manners, and all these things he learned as a spectator. And he is full of knowledge in each and every field. So he can be qualified as a writer. When we know about his personal life, about his knowledge, then we feel that he may qualify himself as a writer. And when we come to his personal life, he was born in a family which possessed a small estate. His family was not rich, not aristocratic, but middle class. And this was the property handed over to him by his ancestor. So this property was, her mother had fostered a dream. Addison's mother had a dream. What kind of dream it was? She wanted his son to become a judge. She had a desire in her that one day his son should become a judge. Every mother has a desire. We human beings also have desire about himself, our family members, about our sons, daughters, brothers, sisters, mother, father, and Addison's mother too has a dream. And her dream was that she wanted his son to become a judge. She had believed so because the writer had seriousness in behavior and was reticent. And why she dreamt of his son becoming a judge? Because his son was reticent. Reticent means a person who speaks less, जो बहुत ही कम बोलता हो, and very serious. We have a image of judge as being serious, so that's why his mother thinks that he would become a judge. And as a young boy he was considered dull boy, but he was admired as a student. At the first, or we can say in the beginning of his life, he was dull, not very intelligent person, but as a student he was always admired. He liked deep silence. Reading book was his passion. He liked to read books because he had no other true friend except the book. The company of friends was not as much acceptable to him as much was the company of books. As I have already told you, he considered books as his friends. The real friends, here real friends means the friends of flesh and blood, were not given much importance by him as much as importance was given to the books. So he was a very good learner, good reader. He liked the company of books. So all these things which we come to know about him are given by himself, because he thinks that reader wants to know much more about the reader, how he looks, whether he is black or white, fair, long, short, what kind of state of his family is, wealthy, rich, poor, middle class, what kind of person he is, he speaks much or less. So all these things we want to know, and he in advance gives all this information to us. And to quench his thirst for knowledge, thirst means desire, he travelled far and wide, and to know much more, to get a lot of knowledge, he travelled far and wide in the world. He established himself as a writer, and finally, with his hard work, with his desire to know more and more, he established himself as a writer, and his mother's dream of his becoming a judge became unfulfilled. And that is a very interesting thing to know, that his mother wanted him to become a judge, but in reality he became a writer, means he proved his mother's dream wrong, unfulfilled. Her mother's dream was unfulfilled because he didn't become judge according to the wish of his mother, but he became a judge out of his own wish. As a writer, he was a very intelligent one, and he is remembered for his great contribution to literature. So, from this summary, we come to know that he was a person of reserved nature, and he did not like any other company of people except the books, and he visited all other places to know more about the people and life. So he was a good observer, spectator, who watched all activities indifferently and learned something out of it. So to make a reader familiar with himself as a writer, he expressed about his nature, his experience, wide knowledge, but it did not suit to his nature to tell others his name, his age, his lodgings, because it would have disclosed his personal identity. He, one more important thing to understand here is that he tells us about his life, about his habits, about his nature, about his knowledge, about his occupation, but he never told his name, his age, his lodgings, because if he had told us about all these things, then his personal identity would have been revealed. Therefore he did not all these things. So students, आज के लिए हम इतना ही पढ़ेंगे. In this episode, in this class, we learned about the life of the Addison, who wrote the account, Spectator's account of himself. In his work, he wrote essays in the name of Spectator. Therefore, he did not know his name. But after all, finally, he wrote this essay to apprise us of his life so that we can have a good knowledge of him. Thank you very much.